Hello and welcome to Aging Matters. This is a program that is provided by and sponsored by the Berks County Area Agency on Aging. My name is Ann Barlet and I'm the Public Advocacy and Outreach Manager for the agency. Our show today, I'd like to first welcome my guest for our show. This is Dech, and she is the CEO of the LGBTQ Center of Greater Reading. So thank you, Michelle, for being here.
Thank you.
I think that we have a lot of topics to discuss about the LGBT Center. And I guess one of the first things I would want to say is I think it's great that it's here, available to people here in Berks County. And so we want to start with just talk to me a little bit about maybe the beginnings, the history, or where you are now. I guess we should probably first start with where are you located? That way people can have an idea if it's a building or not, if it's,
Absolutely, absolutely. Excuse me. So first let me just start by saying thank you, Ann, for having me, and BCTV. It's always great to be here in studio. So I'll start with, we were formed and founded in 2016. We were originally in a small office downtown and relocated out to 13th Street, where we were there for 2 years or 2.5 years. Most COVID timeframe was out there. And then not this past December, the one before, we moved right over here to 640 Center Avenue, which is the corner of Center and Ole. We are in the educational wing of the Calvary UCC Church. Okay. So we're at the back of the building.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And is there a separate entrance then?
There is a separate entrance. We have
is-
our own entrance. You can still get to us if you come through the church as well, but
Okay.
yes, we have a separate parking lot and entrance to come
okay.
through the back.
Oh, I didn't know there's a parking lot. Great. So I hope that that tells us that there's a lot happening, that you needed to keep moving to bigger spaces or spaces that are going to accommodate all the things and all the programs that you've got going at the center. So I would like to start again. You kind of told us a history of a timeline. How about a little bit more about a general purpose or mission, kind of almost why was it founded? What did you see, and kind of where you are with what you see today, and who knows, maybe in the future, expansion.
Where we're headed, exactly.
Yes.
Expansion, that's the word of the day. And you actually alluded to that when you said about moving. And so the purpose of the move was simply, we started out with it being a satellite. We thought Center Avenue would be a satellite, and then we were offered the third floor along with the first floor. So we were able to double our space, and that was the whole purpose of the move, was because we are expanding and growing. So to that note, we offer an array of services and programs with the mission behind that, and really the simple way to put it is we provide support services for the LGBTQ community and our allies. Okay. So we don't turn anyone away. We serve all. Some of those programs and services include counseling services. They are free. We do care coordination and crisis intervention. So what I mean by that is that if someone needs help accessing housing or access to benefits, filling out the paperwork. If
There's always a lot of that.
I know, right?
That can be quite confusing.
That in itself is a job.
Yes.
But we also provide, help with emergency shelter, name changes for our transgender community. So when I say care coordination, I mean it can even be referral to a doctor, referral to Safe Berks or one of the other partner organizations that we work with here in the city. So that's crisis intervention and care coordination. And then we also do a lot of advocacy work based in policy.
Okay.
So we're out there in Harrisburg, fighting for rights and things of that nature. We provide professional development, so we will come out into any business, organization, school, college, healthcare professional, and do training. We do training, we do consultation, and we do auditing.
Tell me about the auditing.
So it's interesting. And I will use Tower Health as an example.
Okay.
So we were on a retainer with Tower Health for more than a year, where we provided ongoing training for the staff on a regular basis. We consulted, where we go in, and our director of training, Tasha Santiago, goes in and will review intake process, paperwork, really front desk in particular processes, and she will make recommendations on improvements, or accolades for those that are doing really well, to make sure that the process is inclusive of everybody. So the consultation and the audit kind of go hand in hand, and quite honestly, they're very popular right now. There's a lot of people, a lot of businesses and organizations that are really seeking to be more inclusive and to make sure they're providing those services to all. So they keep us busy. So yes,
good and bad, I guess.
Exactly. But it's good. It's a good movement to see that people are really serious about being inclusive of all. So
and I think just understanding when we're at different companies, individuals are at different levels and different understandings about certain things or issues, and you want to hopefully make sure that you're appropriate, timely in whatever that is.
Absolutely, and I think it's probably really important to note that I see a lot of allies. I know a lot of allies. I have a lot of friends that are great. It's a great support system for me. There's others that don't have a support system, and allies or friends and family. But I think, especially as somebody who's getting a little older now, we'll go that route. So what I see is our community, the LGBTQ community, evolves very rapidly, and things change on a regular basis.
Oh, okay.
And so I think it's fair, at least from my experience with our allies, I find that a lot of allies have trouble just keeping up. So for me, one of the things that I always relay, quite honestly, is it's really okay to make a mistake. It's really okay to ask, especially when you're talking about pronouns in our transgender community. Things change, and things are changing quickly. So I find myself, I make the mistakes as well, and I'm part of the community as a whole. So it's really okay to say, what pronoun shall I use, or what name shall I use? Those are things that I think are really important and easy to do.
And yet we have to get into that that mindset.
Absolutely.
So you were mentioning, I'm thinking, as you were saying that, some of the things I'm reading that are related to school settings. So I guess what I want to know is then, can you tell us, you've got then a broad range or services for a broad range of individuals of all ages, right?
Correct.
So where do you kind of begin? How young? And maybe it's the adult that you're working with of an infant or somebody, but small youth, teens, because if you're going into schools, what is that, elementary levels? And are you seeing and working with students, in the elementary levels with counseling or concerns, or just programming, fun stuff?
Sure, exactly. And I didn't even get through all the programming yet. We do have, we do support groups. We have, I think we're probably at 19 or 20 different support groups that we provide too. And the reason I say that is because that too, we're serving kids. I think our youngest right now is 7. And we serve adults through, I think our oldest client right now is in her 80s. I believe. So it's certainly the span of a lifetime, pretty much. As far as getting into schools, we have a very robust youth program, after-school youth program, twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 4:30 to 6:30. We provide some programming. It's all based in education. So we provide some basic educational programming, and sometimes it's a TED Talk, and there's always food available. There's camaraderie amongst them. We provide transportation, which, if there are kids that don't have a ride, we will go get them and bring them to the center and take them back home again. And we provide the same service for adults as well. But our youth program is pretty robust. Getting into the schools, it's really dependent upon the school, and it's dependent upon the parent as well. you know, in this position, doing what we do, we kind of see it all. We have parents that are fabulous, wonderful support. They reach out. I want to help my child. I want to understand. Help me. Can you help me? Can you help my child? Absolutely. And then there's the other side where we have kids that are coming in that are banned from the house, who have been thrown out. I mean, we had a student from Wilson a year and a half ago who literally was. He came out to his dad or his parents at dinner and was told, get your backpack and get out, and you're done. And so we really see a lot, especially with our youth and young adults. Some of the older clients that we serve, one of the support groups that we do provide is a 50-plus group.
Oh, okay.
We're still working on a catchy name, but it's been like 4 years.
No one wants to say they're 50-plus.
Exactly, but no one wants to, so anyway, we're still working on a catchy name.
Yeah.
But we meet once a month. It's the last Wednesday
okay.
of the month. Sometimes we meet at the center. We are on all the social media channels that people can find us, and they can also pick up the phone and call. And we do provide email reminders as well, which I'll get to that information.
So I would think that there's some similar issues, no matter what age, but then different.
Correct.
As we age.
Correct. And it's interesting you say that. We can look at the similarities, and what's really fantastic, and one of the things we're going to be doing is a mentor program, using some of our older clients, working with some of the younger clients. And I think between the two, it's a great partnership where they can help one another. There are a lot of similarities. But of course, when you get into those of us who are a little bit older,
In that club,
I don't know I still don't know the right word, but yeah, in that club, it's definitely a different set of it's a different situation.
Can you give me some examples of what that mature group, that 50, the older adult, the group, what might be some of the concerns that they have, issues they're encountering? Can you share some of those with us?
I would say probably the number one thing that stands out would be fear of discrimination. Sometimes there's actual discrimination, but a lot of times it's the fear of discrimination. So for somebody looking for services, there's a fear of, okay, if I'm honest, and let's just talk about
Give me an example of what service they are even looking for.
So your primary care physician.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
so sure. Some of the data that we've collected over the last several years shows that a lot of people that are part of the LGBTQ community, especially those of us older, many don't have a primary care physician. And the reason being is they're afraid to go in and say, this is who I am, this is me. So that's a deterrent. And we find that in employment, we find that in housing. A lot of folks that are my age and more are fearful of losing a job. Times have changed and things have improved, but it's still the mindset and it's still the anxiety that had been there that a lot of us grew through. And so even though we might say, oh, things are a little bit better, it's easier, oh, you'll be fine. It's still the fear of, well, what if it's not fine? And what if, I have even friends of mine, quite honestly, who are what we call term in the closet. And they're, one is retiring as a teacher and has been scared to death. And that's sad when you see that people just can't, you're afraid to have a picture on your desk of somebody, those kinds of things. So that's primarily what we see.
And yet it's an opportunity.
Exactly.
And if they can hook into the right group, the organization that has other folks in the same boat or have experienced it, others with support, can make, in that case, that transition a little bit better, easier, understandable.
Absolutely.
When they're even leaving a full-time position and now, where do I go and what do I do? Because I'm thinking, we have senior centers in Berks County that we encourage people to attend. They've got some fantastic programming in the community, and depending on the one, closest to where they live might be the one that they wish to go to. And I can imagine that they start that cycle again of, will they discriminate against me? It's same for anybody who's new going to a senior center. Will they like me? Will I get along
Sure.
with people? And so add that to their other, I guess, discrimination fears. They really could utilize some supports
Absolutely.
along the way and other things, I'm sure.
Absolutely, and I think, even talking about some of our senior living arrangements, and that we've recognized as a state. I sit on a commission with the state, and that's one of the things that we found to be even some of our senior housing and senior living groups. There's a lot of discrimination. There's been a few even locally where they've been vetted, and if you want to live there, you're going to go back in that closet. And so there's still a lot of it. It's alive and well. We've come a long way, but in some aspects, it's 2 steps ahead and 1 step back. So it's been a constant battle, but I'm positive and optimistic. We're making
Good.
changes. And
I'm going to comment because the role that I have also at the agency is the ombudsman, and we're an advocate for residents in those senior living environments, particularly the personal care, assisted living, and skilled nursing. And it could be something that somebody needs our advocacy to assist with resolving some issues that they've encountered that is associated with that. I think that sometimes the facilities also get, I don't want to say stuck in a rut, but it's very, they typically ask, well, who's your power of attorney?
Sure, it's
and if
repetitive.
you have somebody that isn't the power of attorney, they don't want to talk to that person.
Right.
And you just, but they can be a representative. They don't have to be a power of attorney.
Sure.
It's whoever the resident designates as their representative. And so it's kind of education on my part and my team's part to advocate and to have the facilities understand that, as well as, slowly work together perhaps to make all people aware.
Exactly. There's always room to work together.
So you have an older adult, like you have this support group. What
Yes, we
other
do.
things are going on for a senior? I'll call them that. I don't know what else.
So we
Not
have
in school.
Not in school. We have the support group, and as I said, that's I just want to reiterate, that's a support and social group. So
Okay.
there's a lot of different people that attend, and it's the support groups that we offer as a whole. They are not closed. Anybody can come at any time. There's no registration. You can show up if you have a great time. Great, come back and join us again. If you're not a fan, that's fine as well. We're very easy and laid back with our group. So a lot of times that 50+ group will go to a local place. That we go to the Peanut Bar just to have dinner, or over to Sly Fox or somewhere. And then we also bring some people in. Financial literacy. We do some financial planning, estate planning. We have people come in. Just for that group.
Nice.
We're doing...
Because honestly, even those things, no matter how much you thought you knew, change.
Exactly.
So it's always good to reintroduce even those kinds of programs or applications.
Exactly.
The winter, the lie heat programs, or the rebates, those kinds of things. So you would help with those applications as well?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And we can also bring people in to help as well, besides us. And as I said, we're starting a mentor program. We hope to have that out by June. It will be July at the latest, where we're pairing some of our older clients with some of the younger adults that we have. And we do a warm meal Wednesday once a month. It's the second Wednesday every month.
Okay.
From 5 to 7:30 typically. We cook and we serve. And
at your location.
At the location.
Okay.
We have a lot of different groups. For example, United Way will come in and they want to volunteer, so they'll make the meal. We have a loose menu plan for the year, and anybody that's interested can bring a group. Or you don't even need a group. If you want to just help, you can also call and say, I'd like to help on Warm Meal Wednesday. Come in and serve. What we do a little bit differently with that is once we've served in-house, we have leftovers. And one of the conversations that we had the first few times that we did this was, okay, so we have leftovers, not a lot, but there's maybe, it depends. We were cooking for, I think we always go big and then go back. So I think we cooked for like 200 people the first time. Yeah. And we never wanted to, I hate to have not enough. And, so I said, okay, what can we do? What do we do with this? And so we came up with, well, let's put it in our van and take it around town where we know that there are people that are homeless, where they're staying, where they're camped, and take them a warm meal. And so we started doing that. We also worked with the Coalition to End Homelessness. They gave us a couple ideas, a couple different hotels where there might be people staying. So normally, and I'll tell you a story about that. I thought in doing that, we would see older people. That was just kind of my thought process going into that. And I was schooled very quickly. I went on the first delivery that we did, and we went over to a hotel where the Coalition said, we have people staying over here at the hotel. And so we went in with about 40 meals left over. And they had been told, the residents had been told we were coming. And so they were waiting for us in the little lobby area. And my heart broke in a split second, because I walked it would have broken no matter what, but I walked in the door, and 80% of what I saw of people waiting in line were these children. And they were very young children. I mean, they were with their parents or parent or guardian or whomever. I never expected to see so many children that were in a hard way. And one of the things that brings us back to earth really quickly was we were handing out fruit cups, and these kids were so excited to get a fruit cup. And we got them back in the van, and my care coordinator at the time, Ryan, we both cried. We sat in the van and said, "Oh my gosh!" You know, we didn't expect to see children be so excited over a fruit cup. So it certainly spelled that this is something we need to do. This is something we need to expand upon. So we are. So there's no one we turn away, but we do definitely have programming for our youth and our.
And tell me a little bit about the mentoring with the older, and what kinds of things do you have going?
Sure. So what we want to do is plan more meals. We want to follow. There's a group out of Philadelphia called SAGE. And they do a lot of programming for our older community. And so one of the things that they did was called Compton's Table, where you could actually do this virtually if you had a group of people that wanted to meet to dine together. I'd like to take that model, and we're working through that process right now and determining what will be best for us to start with. We want to do that here. So besides the Warm Meal Wednesday that we provide, we also want to do a meal that's just for seniors, or older adults. And we hope, and what we've done in the past is we've had a meal like that where we did an intergenerational dinner. We've done that 2 years now since COVID. And that proves to be very interesting when we throw everybody in the room together and we have a wonderful meal. It wasn't that long ago we did this. I think February was when we had it this year. And it's really great to hear some of the seniors talking about these younger kids and what the younger kids have taught the seniors and vice versa. And so that's something that I thought, you know what, I think I want to do that more of a formal program. So we're going to tie that into the mentorship program. So it'll be a meal. It might also be something as life skills. So we're doing training for life skills for a lot of our younger people. And so, there are adults who need some purpose, who have some free time, who want to do something and give back, and that this is a way to do it. I can tell you, hands down, love the kids today. Our youth today are great. They're the next leaders of the world. But there are some areas where, and life skills is probably one of them we see, I'm told on a regular basis, I don't know how to boil water, or I don't, and they're serious, and I'm not making a joke.
Even manage money.
Exactly, manage money. So we do some financial literacy for also, it's all important stuff.
We have a couple minutes left. Are there some special events or projects that are coming up?
So one of the things that I'd like to mention, and I think just give kudos to, it'll be over by the time this airs, but we work together with the Department of Aging and with your agency to do an intergenerational art project in our garden. And so we have a garden that we call Cultivating Community. It's a vegetable garden that we started last year. We're going to be looking for volunteers this year, adults and youth that want to help garden and weed quite honestly, we did it last year, the first time out, and we plan to maintain it ourselves. And I'll be honest with you, we didn't do the best job with weeding, but it produced so many vegetables. So we
Wonderful.
were able to use it in our food pantry, because we do have a food
Okay.
pantry. We were able to use it for Warm Meal Wednesday, so we're looking forward to this garden. But the project was to actually spruce it up, make different beds, make it really blend into where it is with outside the church area. There's a courtyard where it's in this courtyard area. It's beautiful.
So stop by and
Stop by
look
and
at
see
it
it. Yes,
or help out with it.
Yes, please, anytime, or stop by and see what we have available. Fresh produce. We had eggplant, cantaloupe, beans,
Wow.
tomatoes. I've never seen so many tomatoes in my life last year.
Yes.
So that's
How many ways
happening.
can you make something out of a
Exactly.
tomato?
And
future?
Pride Month
Okay.
coming up is always a busy.
Which
It's
is-
always a busy month. That's June.
June, okay.
We are partnering again with the Berks Community Health Center. They bring their
Okay.
Wellness on Wheels out, and they've been wonderful with that. They are coming out again. We just changed the date this morning, actually, to the 28th
Okay.
of June. They will be on site. You do not
At
need
your
an appointment.
location or where?
At our location,
Okay.
in the parking lot. You do not need an appointment. You can.
Okay.
They've done that for us. You can be a walk-in. And we're also bringing the Tower Health mammogram RV.
Nice. Okay.
And that date's being finalized, and we'll have that out probably tomorrow. So that will be on site as well in the month of June. So that one you do need a script from a doctor, but we encourage anybody who hasn't had a mammogram or needs one, please come out and get that taken care of.
Attend to that.
Yes.
All righty, well, I need to wrap it up. I guess what I last want to end with is, so now that I want to know more information about the organization, tell us again, give us the address again, a phone number or a website if the things are on there that you're having in the future beyond June's events,
Yes.
how people can learn about them, be involved in them. Can you tell us again? Give us your
Sure.
address and then the contact phone number or the website.
So the address is 640 Center Avenue in Reading, PA, 19601. Again, we're in the rear of the Calvary UCC Church. A phone number is 484-513-3170. We have a website that you can visit. It's www.lgbtcenterofreading.com. And you can also email me directly if you have any questions or you want to get involved. We do a lot of things. We're doing more beyond June. We would love to have you there. You can reach me at mdech@lgbtcenterofreading.com.
Great, thank you. And again, if there's any other questions or you didn't catch this and want to call our agency, please feel free to call the Berks County Area Agency on Aging at 610-478-6500. Ask for Ann and I'll be able to give you that information, connect you. I hope that you take some time to look at the website, visit them, participate in any of the things that are going on at that center, and I think that there's a lot happening, and I appreciate your time to be with us and to share that with our viewing audience. So thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you, Ann. It was great to be here.
Thanks. Thank you for tuning in to Aging Matters.